Good afternoon and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. As always, we're back with another massive show to bring you guys today, and we're going to be focusing on Erik ten Hag's press conference ahead of the Manchester derby this coming Sunday. So Erik ten Hag has just spoken to the press at Carrington. We will, of course, bring you all of the quotes from that press conference. We'll also give you our reaction. Before we do that, please do make sure to smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, if this is your first time watching the show. And let's get straight on into it. So let's start off from the beginning. Let's go through it all the way from the beginning. So the first thing he's asked about is injury news. Now, there's some massive news that's just come out from Erik ten Hag. He has confirmed that Aaron Wan-Bissaka was in first team training today. That is huge, really, really big. Obviously, we spoke about this on the show this morning, saying that he was apparently going to be back playing within 10 days. And it looks like that has been fast-tracked with Aaron Wan-Bissaka at Carrington today, training with the first squad. He also says Casemiro was training as well, but it's a race against the clock. So we'll have to see whether Casemiro is available. Let's hope he is. I think it's a massive, massive loss for Manchester United if we don't have Casemiro on Sunday. I think he has that big game character. And I think him, probably with Amrabat, to be honest, would be the most safest option because, let's be honest, we're going to be defending for our lives against Man City. I think it's going to be very much a counter-attacking type of game. And I think Casemiro and Amrabat as the two kind of holding midfielders, yes, maybe it's not the most exciting going forward, but I think from a defensive standpoint, I think it will really protect our defence and hopefully will nullify the Manchester City attack. He then talks a little bit about Garnacho. Obviously, there's all of this stuff going around with a tweet that Garnacho put out, and Erik ten Hag has said the following. He says, there's no update at the moment. We are currently talking with the FA. What you see, I can confirm that, and I want to emphasise that we are together, we are united. You saw that with the post of Andre Onana. So just to be very, very clear, which I think this is the correct decision, Erik ten Hag is sticking with his player. He's back in Garnacho. Obviously, this story is completely spiraled. It's all over the media. People accusing Garnacho of all sorts of different things, which is obviously to be expected. And yeah, it looks like Garnacho probably is going to face a ban, but it's good to see that Erik ten Hag and the club are backing him. Obviously, Onana came out yesterday posting on Twitter and Instagram saying that what was posted wasn't offensive to him and all the rest of it. But obviously, you have to see where the connotations could be looked at being from an outsider's perspective. So that's that on that. Erik ten Hag's then asked about whether they're feeling confident going into the game, obviously off the back of 3 wins against Sheffield United, Brentford and Copenhagen. He says, it's definitely to see we are back where we wanted to be. This is a hard team to beat. They find a way to win. We're going in the right direction, which is good. He's then asked about how he's feeling ahead of the derby. He says, I think it's a match that is so huge because it's Manchester. It's internal, but it's also about world football. All the eyes will be on this game globally. Well, hopefully he gets that across to his players, which I'm sure he will. This is the biggest game of our season. It always is. The Manchester derby is the biggest game in Manchester United's season. It is. It's one that we have to win just for the bragging rights of the city, if anything. He's then asked about his performance levels at the club, how he thinks the club's doing at this moment in time. And Erik ten Hag has said the following things. He says, I said we're in the right direction. We have a long way to go. I see positives and I also see negatives. Probably what Christian is referring to. We are not consistently in position at this level. We can be where we show in games we can be. Like Arsenal away and the first 20 minutes at Bayern away, we should do this on a consistent basis, but pressing we're quite good. We have the most ball regains from the whole Premier League this season, the most middle regains in the whole league. Our defending and pressing organisation, that is us, but we don't take benefit in the attacking transition moments. We have the ability in our team to take benefits from it. This is how to grow and progress, and the games will become more easy. I 100% agree with that. I do. I think our attack has been the main issue this season. Yes, we've been conceding goals, but we create lots of opportunities, but don't seem to score. You think against Arsenal, you think against all of these teams when we've done poorly, they've had barely any chances. I mean, Crystal Palace, when they beat us at Old Trafford, they had one chance and scored and we lost the game. He's then asked about how he says wins but no consistency, which is in relation to, we're winning matches but we're not consistent. He says that is a team hard to beat. Sometimes it's not the way you want to go, but you have to win. So he's kind of admitting that, the way that Manchester United are playing at the moment is not how Erik ten Hag saw that Manchester United should be playing. It's not how he wants to play. But as I said last season, the football was awful. It was. Manchester United last season, the football was terrible in my opinion. But we got third place, we got to the FA Cup final and we won a trophy. And sometimes when you're going through a transition, it's that sacrifice where you say, right, are we going to play more defensive against the better teams, sit back and try and hit on the counter-attack? Or are we going to go out there, try and play this fast football, which we can't play yet, and then get battered? It's that balance that you have to weigh up. And I think winning 3 games in a row, I know that's not a big deal for people who've supported Manchester United, for a long time and had the success through the 90s and all the rest of it. But 3 games with no losses, I think is good, and I think it's something to build on. So hopefully we go into this game with confidence, and hopefully we go and hopefully we get a result. I think we are going to get a result, and I know you think I'm crazy, but that's just my opinion. Erik ten Hag's then asked about his opinion on the lack of goals, which I think is a massive issue. Erik ten Hag says the cooperation has to click, but we showed this week some examples where there are so many. We have overload positions, going in overload position to be in the opponent's goal. We don't net, or we don't even hit the target. We don't have time to train this. We give some coaching, and I'm convinced with the quality from our players that they will go and score more goals. And I think the really interesting thing about this bit of the interview here is he's saying that we don't have time to train ultimately the finishing. He says we don't have time, it's because they're not hitting the target, blah blah blah. And people were saying in the chat to me the other day, like, we shouldn't be making up excuses about Erik ten Hag. Look at Tottenham. Tottenham are playing 1 game of football per week. Yeah, they're getting 6 training sessions in per week. Manchester United, we play a game on Tuesday night. They'll have Wednesday and Thursday probably training, and then and then it's game day again. It's just the same. We're playing 2 or 3 games a week. Remember, Tottenham got knocked out of the League Cup as well, so they're not even in that. They're not in Europe, and I think that it is a big thing for Manchester United. You see Arsenal under Arteta; they had a few seasons out of Europe, and I think in some ways it's actually important where the team can actually just focus on training and focus on the Premier League, because we're not going to win the Champions League. Let's be clear. Even if we get out of this group, which I think is a possibility now, if we go and beat Copenhagen in the next match, and then we don't lose to Galatasaray, I think we'll get through this group. But we're not exactly going to win it, are we? Like, if anybody genuinely thinks we're going to win the Champions League, then yeah. But let me know what you guys think about that one. Erik ten Hag's then asked about how Onana's form has been so far. He says you give him the standards and also the expectations, but it's also about getting to the same level. He has high expectations from himself. We give him the confidence. Look what you did in the past for great clubs in great leagues. You have the ability and the skills. The last 2 games were good progress. Now we have to keep this going. It's very good, but at Manchester United, good is not good enough. And I agree with that. I think the last 2 games, Onana has been much better. Obviously, he won us the game against Copenhagen ultimately. He made some really good saves in that match as well. Yeah, I think Onana can only improve. And let's hope that does happen, okay? Because at the moment, I'm still not 100% on him, but we're only 9 games into the season, and we've got to give our players faith. We've got to get behind them, and we've got to back them, because otherwise, what are we if we're, we can't be trying to get rid of goalkeepers after 9 games. That's ridiculous. Erik ten Hag's then asked about Marcus Rashford and his form. He says, give him the trust and play him every game. Most of the games he finishes every game, so I have a strong belief he will return to scoring a lot of goals. So I'm not sure about that one. I don't really I think we do have other options in that left wing position, but I said this on the show the other day. I can see why Erik ten Hag does play Rashford, because when Garnacho starts matches, he doesn't have the same impact as when he comes in off the bench. So it's not like we've got this, world-class left winger who's incredible every single game sat on the bench and Rashford's getting picked instead. I think whenever Garnacho has had the opportunity to start, he hasn't been that great, to be honest, from the beginning. I think when he comes in as an impact sub, he's great. He does really well, but starting from the beginning, not great for me. He's then asked about how far away we are from Manchester City's level. He says, in this moment in time, they're 6 points ahead. We're 6 points behind. We have to catch up. We know we have to progress the team, make developments. It has to do with the cooperation, the movement around it. We have to work on that. So, yeah, I mean, it's clear that we're quite a long way away from Manchester City. I think everyone would agree on that. But the key bits of information just to get across to you, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is back in training. Massive injury boost there. Casemiro is 50-50 whether he'll be available for the game on Sunday. Hopefully he is. And that's almost everything that was talked about there. So I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video before you go. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and I'll speak to you all a little bit later. Have a lovely day and speak soon.